But filmmakers, if the question was, if you're an aspiring filmmaker and you don't live in some place like LA or New York, what kind of advice would you give? So anyone who wants to.
Move. No, I'm kidding. You could be doing stuff. I mean, I'm not familiar with like Dallas or anything, but I'm from Chicago originally. I moved to Los Angeles about 5 years ago, and it's not like I just started in Los Angeles. I was doing theater and shooting videos with my buddies. I studied at Second City, so I was always doing something involved in the community, in the comedy, always working on my craft, it's in some way. Eventually, though, I think if you want to really, kind of take that leap, I think you probably have to be either in New York or Los Angeles in terms of just the exposure and really surrounding yourself with, with all the resources to kind of get to that next level, But as far as like local stuff, I'm sure there's, plenty of stuff to do in terms of making videos. I mean, you could shoot. You saw from all these submissions, anyone can do this now. Everyone can do it on their. We shot on a 5D camera, and Community, which is, if you're not familiar, it's a Canon camera now, and it takes pictures and it shoots digital video. We shot a couple episodes, some scenes in Community now on the 5D, and this is a $3,000 camera. Usually, TV shows, they used to be $10,000, $15,000 cameras, and now you could shoot scenes that are on television with a $3,000 camera that you could buy at a store. So it's like everyone could do this now, and I think, there's never been a time where you could just shoot something like that, put it on the internet, and, get people to notice it. So that's my advice.
I think you can write anywhere, and one of my favorite filmmakers is David Gordon Green. I don't know if you guys know him. He made a film called George Washington, one of his first films, and All the Real Girls was another film of his. And he shot that in his hometown, like it wasn't New York or LA, but the quality of story was so good, and his local actors were so good that when he submitted it to film festivals, everybody took notice. So you can really work anywhere, write anywhere. Probably the resources that you have around wherever you live is much more accessible than LA or New York stuff if you don't live there. So, I would say concentrate on the quality of your work.
I just want to add, he's right in that writing and directing you could do anywhere. I'm speaking more from, I guess, from an actor's perspective. Really, for an actor, it's a little bit more difficult because you have to be where they're shooting stuff, and so it's a little bit easier in New York and Los Angeles. But yeah, you could do it anywhere.
I think one of the things that people mentioned that's kind of democratized filmmaking, especially from a filmmaking point of view, is the internet. So basically, you can do it anywhere. You can be in South Africa and make a little short called District 9, and someone from Hollywood's going to watch it and go, holy crap, this is so good that we got to be in business with this guy, And so I think there's a lot more opportunities as the equipment becomes cheaper. Like hundreds of years ago when the printing press was first invented, like everyone thought, oh, it's the demise of writing now. It's the demise because now everyone can do it and everything's going to suck now, right? Because everyone can publish a book. And people talk about that now, like, oh, anyone can shoot a film, so it's going to suck. But I think it actually democratizes the process, that it gives you the tools, no matter whether you're a 10-year-old girl in the middle of Illinois or whether you're a filmmaker in Hollywood, you have the tools now to do it, and to get your work up there and to get it seen. And I think for that reason, it's a very exciting time for all of us to be filmmakers. So. More questions? Yes.
Since there's no more, you can't bring in original scripts or studios, does that mean there's a letters Iwo Jima 2?
A sequel? The Ghosts of Iwo Jima? I don't know. Yeah, there's exceptions when you have you have amazing directors like Clint Eastwood who can kind of go over the studio system and he brings in great movies all the time, but it's very, very hard. I think comedy is one place where you can have original material, some of the genre films, and I think TV also is a good venue now for writers, because my reps keep telling me I have to go into TV because I can't get into studios. So.
You had a second question?
Yeah, and my second one goes to David. So the film adaptation of M. Butterfly was directed by David
Cronenberg.
David Cronenberg.
Is he a crazy motherfucker to work with?
Sure. No, actually, David is really, if anything, incredibly calm. He's sort of the opposite of what you would expect him to be, based on the pictures. And he rarely raises his voice. I mean, which is a little scary too. And you know, he's very affable but very strong-willed. I mean, he knows what he wants, and he will just do that. And he's not gonna lose his temper, or he's not gonna yell at anybody. He's just gonna do what he wants to do. You know, and the movie version of M. Butterfly, for me, I mean, I feel like David wanted to make a movie about how all romantic love is self-delusion, which I think is a perfectly good Cronenbergian theme, but it's a little different from my play. So, you know, I like the movie, but all things being equal, I like my play better.
And for those of you who are not familiar with M. Butterfly, the story is about a French diplomat.
Yeah, it's based on the true story of a French diplomat who has a 20-year affair with a Chinese actress who turns out to be A, a spy, and B, a man in drag. And the diplomat claims that he never knew that his lover was a man.
You can't make that stuff up. I mean, that's. Yes, I saw another hand somewhere. Yes.
What was your inspiration behind coming up with those 4 lines?
Okay, that was the hardest part, I think, of this, because basically, I think originally we started with 6 lines. And so I think the criteria we had was it had to be broad enough that it could be a comedy, it could be a thriller, it could be whatever, but specific enough that it had to make sense. You couldn't just throw up random lines, because if you're just throwing up random things, yes, it could be whatever, but there had to be a logic to it. And so the way that I approached it, I mean, I came up with the line. I mean, I came up with about like close to 100 variations on the lines before we got to those. And basically, the way that I approached it was actually like a script in 3 acts. So when we had 6 lines, it was the first 2 lines was the first act. You're going to set up the situation. Second 2 lines are the second act, where you kind of create the conflict and all that. How much time do we have? 5 minutes? Okay. And then the third, the last 2 lines were kind of the resolution. Now we ended up cutting it down, because with 3 minutes, I think we felt that 4 was probably better, but it was still the same theory, that there had to be a logic and a progression to it. And seeing all the different films that came in, I mean, I thought it worked pretty well. I mean, so, you know. What movie would you make, and with what actor? Their dream project. What is your dream actor and your dream movie? Is that okay? Fair. David, why don't you go first?
You go first.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. There's a lot. I would love to do anything with John Malkovich. I think that'd be super awesome and just weird and a great story. And then anything with Jessica Alba.
Anything with Johnny Depp. Yeah.
For me, we're on an independent level. My dream is hopefully about to come true. My actor friend Thomas Blankenship. We're working on a little indie, and hopefully that'll come into fruition. On a studio level, though, I love Russell Crowe. I think he disappears into his roles, and I think he's an amazing actor, and it'd be a dream to work with him.
I guess if it was a female, it'd be Julianne Moore, and if it was male, Philip Seymour Hoffman, and maybe this guy Danny Pudi. Oh!
I'm in, man. I'm here. I'm right here. Let's get Clint Eastwood. Let's put this together.
Joey?
I really don't know. I would. Oh man. Oh, Bill Murray. I think that would be good. Though I heard he's kind of an asshole sometimes when he plays golf.
David, I think you're closing out the evening.
No, I mean, I feel like I actually get to do a lot of my dream projects, maybe not for film, but in the theater. So I'm really happy with my new play that I'm doing next year.
The play is Chinglish. It opens at the Goodman Theater
And then
in Chicago.
and then we'll come to New York after that, and then hopefully we'll get out here. So.
Yeah. So I want to thank everyone. I mean, everyone came down for this of their own free time, and I want to thank them. And I want to also thank Leanne and the Film Festival for hosting us. We had a great time, so thank you.
Guys.